Dark boy.
Aight. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good, my boy? How's life treating you?
Not bad, man. I must say, the weather's starting to get a little bit better. It's so on and off, yo. Some days we get these beautiful days. Some days we get, a little bit of snow.
Right. Same here. Like the other day, we had a couple inches, and then today it was like 50 degrees. So that should be weird.
Right.
It's that fake spring that's trying to come through right now.
Yeah. It's fighting for its life right now.
Yup. So other than that, chilling though. We going bowling tonight, so.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah, a little 9 to 11. Shit, yo, it's crazy. Like ever since, like I know what y'all had came with us bowling when y'all came over here, but like that same spot, though, they done changed up the rules and everything. Like you got to pretty much pre-order lanes and shit, pay for that shit in full.
Really?
Yeah, and like they want to know how many people come in. Like say if you come in with 6 people, like you got to pay for the whole shit up front before you even get there.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I guess because like people was like probably booking too many lanes and then they wouldn't show up, and so they figured they losing out on business when they do.
Seems like at least your area, the bowling spot's probably one of the hottest things to do in Albany. Like
Yeah, but that shit just started.
Addie
That
said,
shit
shit, why am I being shady? She said, why am I being shady?
There ain't shit else to do.
And now
Actually,
the bowling spot might be the hot spot over there.
Yo, it is, but that shit just happened. Like when the pandemic and shit came through and everything else was closed down. That's when like bowling really took off because bowling stayed open, and I actually got some ideas about a bowling spot that I want to open, but it's gonna be more than just bowling that I want to like include in it and everything.
Yeah, I already told you, bro. When I was down there, it seems like that area. It seems like more entertainment can be. You know what I mean? I've been there. If you and your boys get together, put some money together, put down a little club or a little place where people could chill out. Y'all probably get some crazy business over there, bro.
Yeah, it's tough though. Like they don't want. They pretty much don't want.
Yeah,
like they don't want no hip hop places. Pretty much like in our area, because all them shits they either got like niggas got stabbed, shot up. Like it's crazy. Like. And all of the spots, like you'll notice, when you go, the later it gets, they change up the music and shit. So like, they know how to pretty much. They know how to funnel the niggas. Yeah, they know how to funnel the niggas out at the right time. Like 2:00 roll around, they start playing
some Avril Lavigne, play some Avril Lavigne, play some weird
disco shit.
It's like, all right, we out.
Some fist pump music, Jersey Shore shit. They like, all right, gotta get the niggas out.
Oh my god, that's crazy. We live, by the way.
Alright, shout out to the people, man. See, I got energy today. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got the 2-hour show coming up, so I told you that 2-hour show whooped my ass last week, dog.
Yeah, me and J Man were just talking about that the last part. We're like, God damn, yo, the last podcast was long as hell, yo. I think we went off for like 2 hours and 40 minutes. Like I wanted to do a little bit extended because we just missed the 2 weeks though. But I'm like, after that, yo, I can't wait to get back to this hour and a half and we out, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I don't think I can like last in these long form podcasts anymore. It actually doesn't even sound appealing to me to even like do anymore, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I like listening to them. Like, there's a few shows I listen to that go on for like 4 or 5 hours. Like,
really,
when I'm listening, like, cause the type of work I do, like, I'm just like listening to music or podcasts while I'm working. So it's like it's just some background music or background noise in my ears and shit like that. So it's cool, like when it's some of your favorite, like entertainers and shit that's just in the background. But in terms of like sitting in the podcast for 4 or 5, 6 hours, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I got the mental capacity for that.
You know what it is? I always find out like the longer it drags on, like if you could keep a show on entertaining, especially when we were doing something like what we were doing, like and talk about video games for like 5 whole hours, 6 whole hours, and all power to you, bro. I feel like my energy starts to get drained. Like I remember when we were doing PSP, I felt like towards the end, we can even feel like the vibe typically change a little bit. Like it, we always start off in a high, but coming towards like the 2.5 hour mark, or you know what I mean. And we all getting tired, bro. We all getting a little bit tired going through these topics. We start rushing through them, so.
Right.
I was meant for a point when we're doing this. We tackle the big topics. We have great conversations, so meaningful conversations for the hour and a half, and we out, bro. And just keep it moving, bro.
Yeah, I like it. It's perfect for the weekdays too. Like,
Exactly.
you got a long ass work day. You just
Exactly.
just
The
want to
earlier
do
start
some
time
work.
definitely does help too. You know what I'm saying? Because
For
we used to
sure.
be finishing at like 11 and all sorts of crazy shit. Yeah, I know, bro. But yo, shout out to everyone in the chat so far. Shout out to all the people watching the podcast live. I'm gonna shout out a few people. We got Blade X in the chat. We got Spencer Polly in the chat. We got Leaky, Retromatic, King Darian, Arcade, Nay. Just say what up in the
My brother
chat.
Blessed in the
We got
chat.
Bless in the chat. Just say what up.
Jaren.
If you want, look. We got Addy
Nah,
in the chat. We got
Addy in the chat.
Okay.
Tell her drop a super chat. You know what I'm saying? Drop that super
Jamie
chat.
said drop a super chat. What
I
you
know.
mean, yo?
Yeah, I know them.
What you
I know them
mean?
taxes just came in. Come on, drop that super chat.
We got
I
Muck.
still gotta
We
file
got
my
Muck in
taxes
here. What's
too.
good, Muck? We got Decoy Caliber. We got Max in the chat. See you, bro. If you want a quick shout out before we get started, just say what up to us. We appreciate y'all tuning in every week as usual, and make sure you guys hit the like button. And a simple like supports the podcast, takes us, helps us with the algorithm and stuff like that. So we would appreciate it. See E-Rock in the chat, but good gaming episode 23. We back with another one. We actually have some pretty. Yeah, exactly. We actually have some pretty dope topics to talk about this week, from Final Fantasy 16 to the Elden Ring news that we got from, as well as Phil Spencer's comments on his latest comments.
Fat Mouth Phil. Oh yeah.
Don't be
my bad. That's your boss now. My bad. That's your boss now.
First of all.
I can't be talking wild.
We're
about
not
your
gonna be
boss like that.
dissing the
I'm sorry.
goat, bro.
I'm sorry. Nah, fat. I was talking about the PHAT, the pretty hot and tempting mouth Phil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Wait, that sounded crazy.
You know what? We're gonna have to stop this. Kofi's bought out by Xbox Canada. PlayStation be out here, supporting your boy too, bro. So
you ain't over there on PlayStation Canada on Twitch live streaming, talking to the people.
That time is coming. That time is coming, Jamie. That time is coming.
I feel like Xbox Canada is buttering you up a little bit more. Like they really, you know what I mean? They really want to, season you. You know what I'm saying? They know what they doing though. Shout out to you, man.
Anthony in the chat. What's good? So yeah. J-Manu, what you been playing, man? Let's start off with that, bro. What you been doing?
Definitely. So I'm back on that Forspoken. I think we might, at least talk about that studio a little bit later. But I've been, just pinching away at it, a few hours here, a few hours there. It'll probably end up ending sooner than I thought. Like that open world is garbage.
Now it's time to sink in that it's tight mid, right?
You know what's kind of fucked up is like I told you, I think I played the demo for like 8 hours, like just doing everything in the open world. It's the same shit in the game, dog. And I'm like, I'm already burnt out on the open world, and I'm still like 10 hours in. So it's like, I'm a see what it is and finish up the story with it probably in the next few days. And then also I've been playing that Battlefield. A new season came out, season 4. Should be dropping on PlayStation Plus next week if you haven't got it. It's on Game Pass. Well, Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play. New map is fucking flames. I mean, when I tell you this is like the infantry's wet dream, like when I say like boots on the ground, gun on gun, that's all it is in this map. It's fucking chaos. Destruction is through the roof in this map, and it's just a blast to play. So like, it's definitely in a great space. I keep on preaching it every week, but it just keeps getting better, and I'm just happy to see it turn around. It's I wouldn't even say it's like one of my top 3 Battlefield games, but it's a good game to play nonetheless. So those are pretty much the 2 games I'm focusing on right now. And then, that's pretty much it. What you got? What you playing on?
What am I playing, bro? Same old. But I'm officially breaking the addiction. AOE stopping next week, for real. AOE stopping.
Oh my God! Thank God! Jesus Christ!
Trust me, you saying thank God. Addy saying thank God. Everyone's saying thank God at this point, bro. The AOE stopping next week. So pretty much what's going on? Me and Tony have a serious rivalry in the game. despite what he be telling you and be coming and he be pump faking, talking all that, but we typically go back and forth in wins. So I'm like, yo, Tony, you're the reason why I'm low key still on this game like this, because we trying to see who be better and we be playing with the other mans in the Discord. But we're like, yo, I told him, yo, we both want to go do other things. We both got to go beat other games. We both want to go create content. And we can't be playing 3-hour games of AoE, 4-hour games every single day. Right? Facts. So I'm like, all right, so this is what we doing. First 1 to 3 wins is we have to just admit is the best in the between me and him in the Discord. First to 3.
So that person
we
played our
first
belt.
match. Yeah, we got the belt. We played our first AoE match. Guess who won?
Tony.
I won. What are you talking about? Clean them up. Our first set to first to 3, clean them up. Clean them up, bro. That's a fact. Got the screenshots and everything. So, pretty much I've been playing that, and we're trying to put an end to this AoE. At least take a long break from it a little bit so we can finish the backlog. Because trust me, I can't do another month of Ages of Empire 2 because fucking Resident Evil 4 is coming out.
Yeah, the backlog is crazy.
I still haven't played Octopath Traveler. I still want to play Fire Emblem Engage too. Like, there's so much heat out right now that I should be playing.
So hold on, real quick with the AoE. Can those games end in a tie or somebody has to win?
Somebody has. Yo, funny that you say that. We did a free for all yesterday. Just yesterday, we did a free fall. Me, Strat, Anubis, Tony, even Watch Doge. Shout out to Watch Doge, right? So pretty much, it was just left me and Tony in the game, bro. Me and him were left. Everyone's out,
right?
And tell me how it was like a literal stalemate. We just kept on going back. He sends off his infantry, gets cleaned up in my place. I send off my stuff, it gets cleaned up. Bro, the game was going on too long. Like, everyone's like, yo, this shit's still going on. I'm like, yo, Tony, yo, it's 11 o'clock. I got work in the morning. I saved the game and all, but I'm like, yo, nah, we're gonna call this one a stalemate. And he's trying to fight the allegation. He's trying to be like, nah, I can still cook. Give me 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm like, you're not getting through my base. So I gave him the 5 minutes or whatever. You couldn't cook. So I'm like, nah, bro. We're just, everyone in the Discord said, everyone who was in the chat at the time said, yo, let's call it a draw, call it a day, bro. And
that's gonna be crazy. Yeah. If y'all like tied up 2-2 and y'all in like a last game and like that shit is going forever. Y'all have to live stream that last one. Like if y'all end up tied up like 2-2,
if we tied up, I might
that
live stream the last one. But right now I'm up 1 in our first 3 set to see who's the best AoE play in the Discord. So I've been playing a lot of that. Besides that, Returnal is just so fantastic. I did a little live stream the other day where I was trying to get the true ending of Returnal. Still a blast to play.
I still need to do that. I never did that.
Yeah. Once again, that game is just too good. It's just way too good. One of my favorite games that released. Besides that, I did start Metroid Prime. On the Switch. Yes, I did. You got to off the Switch.
I was about to say, you got the OLED?
No. I'm still using the regular one. In case Jack was watching, bro. I did not buy it. He's still on my ass about it, yo. He's still on my ass about it.
The bet is over.
The bet is over. He lost. But the funny thing is, you know what's funny? I tweeted out saying that, yo, I'm thinking about getting the Switch OLED. I tweeted that out. I think he quote retweeted me calling me a son of a bitch or some shit like that. I don't know.
I seen that.
I think he said some shit like, I'm an asshole or some shit. I'm like, yo, bro, first of all, I didn't even buy it yet, but I'm thinking about it. But when I sit down and like, just like, I don't think I can go through with it, J-Man. I don't think I can. You know why? Because I really know that as soon as I cop that shit, Nintendo going to reveal the new one. That they're dropping a new one, bro. So
the rumors is cooking up. They heating up too. Like the Switch successor rumors. Like they out
smoke,
there.
There's fire, man. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And
I heard the Nintendo ninjas like took down somebody's whole operation because they was like talking about potential Switch successor, and they might have had like details and shit about it.
Some details.
Shut down a whole forum or some shit. Like it was. I don't know if it was true, but I was reading some wild shit. Like,
typically when they go in there and they shut shit down or they delete, make sure that they take videos and stuff like that off the internet, then there's some truth to some of these rumors. And so if they did that, but look, the Switch is 7 years old. A new one got to be coming up. The successor got to be coming up soon. Is either that's coming out this holiday or it's coming out Q1, Q2
early
of
next year
for sure.
I can see
so
that.
At this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm not buying the Switch OLED. I'm gonna just enjoy whatever game that's available on the platform that I want to play just on the regular Switch, and I want something a little bit more beefier, bro. I need some a little bit more
Hey,
stronger. So,
what you trying to have with
what
what
do
type of night you trying to have with Nintendo, huh? A little something, a little beefier,
yeah.
a little faster, a little
Oh,
bit more
what else?
fidelity.
You know what else? My FOMO. You know, my
What you
FOMO
mean?
has been settling a little bit. You know, the PSVR 2 came out, and I do not
Oh,
have one. I didn't go out to buy one, and I think I'm actually good. Pretty much, I since everyone like the people I've been seeing a lot of people talk about VR. I've seen this, that. So I
mhm.
did charge my Oculus, did fire up a 1, 2 VR games, and you know what I mean. I got the FOMO out. And
Scratch
like,
that itch.
it scratched that itch of like, all right, yeah. See, you playing a little VR, so I'm coping with not having a PS VR 2 right now, and I think I'm good now. I think I'm good. I got past the phase. You know the game that everybody's or the people on the Twin Line are hyping up, like the paddle game, how it has like incredible graphics and it's so beautiful and shit like that. You know what I'm talking?
Which
The canoe
one?
game, the canoe one,
Oh, the what's it? Kayak or something?
the
Kayak
kayak
VR.
in VR, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
my surprise, when I'm looking for some new stuff to play, I'm like, oh shit, this game is already available on Steam.
Is on the Oculus and all of that?
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? So I installed the
Yeah, but the
game.
visuals trash. You know what I'm
No,
saying? It's
no,
it's like
no. The funny
garbage.
thing,
I
the
mean,
funny thing is
PSVR
not.
next gen.
First of all, my PC is fucking stronger, so relax. So it's not trash,
Nah,
but
nah. The
yeah,
headset. That's what I'm
the
saying. The headset
HDR,
is last
is
gen.
nice. But I will say it. But what I say, I'm glad that did not sell me, because J Main, I popped it in, I put it on my head, I looked around, I'm like, wow. This shit is fucking beautiful. I looked at the rocks. I looked at the water. I went through the Iceland or Australia or whatever, the little maps that they had. I went through. I'm like, wow, this is pretty dope. I did a little paddle race thing. Then after that, I hit
It was
Steam.
good.
I went to refund and got my $30 back, bro. I'm like, realistically, yo, I'm not gonna be playing this out ever again. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm glad that I didn't drop like 8 bills to play some kayaking and some shit that I'm gonna put down, and you know what I mean. So I'm actually glad. In
Yeah.
hindsight, I'm actually pretty happy about that shit. So
That Gran Turismo will have you feeling different though. That and that heard that Pavlov joint is pretty good as well.
yeah, we had that. We had that already.
Yeah, I seen a clip.
We
Oh,
already had that
Pavlov
on
is
Steam.
old.
Yeah, we already had it. It's old. It's old.
Oh,
So we
okay.
had that already.
Yeah, that's what I've been noticing too. It's been a lot of like games that never made it to PSVR one, but been on like PC.
Been on PC.
That are,
Yeah.
yeah, they come into PSVR too. But that Pavlov shit was crazy. I saw a clip today where you could like take the gun clip out of somebody's gun. Like that, I was like, damn,
Yeah.
that's actually kind of
Yeah,
nuts.
the game been out for on PC and stuff on Steam and stuff like that. It's been out for some time now. So yeah, that's pretty much all the gaming that I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after next week, I'm getting back into my grind and I'm gonna clear up some of this backlog before Resident Evil 6 comes out.
Yeah, that should be here quick because February went by fast. So I
Real
already
fast.
know the 24th. Yeah, it's gonna be here in no time.
All right, J-Man. Where should we start,
Get
bro?
up.
Where should we start?
I mean, I don't think any of us played this game yet. Oh, is it even out yet? So let's start with the Wolong. Let's get that out the way since
All right, cool.
we haven't played it yet. When does it come out?
I've played. It comes out tomorrow, I believe, and I
Okay.
have played the first demo. I know they dropped
Me too.
a demo recently on PC,
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation, all of that. I haven't tried it out to see how it's improved since the first demo. But yeah, that's the last time I touched the game, and I will be checking it out on Game Pass a little bit later after I clear out the backlog. But
Right.
what's your thoughts on the review scores and people's impressions so far that you've been reading?
So I saw a couple reviews, or I watched a couple of the reviews and saw some impressions, and a lot of people pretty much came to the same conclusion that I did, where it said, it feels like Neo. Like it's but I also saw somebody compare it to more of like a Sekiro than like a Souls game. So I was like, if that's the case, then that's actually more of a positive in my eyes, because I think the switch up that they did, or the mechanics and stuff that they added to Sekiro, as far as the Soul Styles games, was amazing. Like that game is still amazing to this day. But looking at the review scores, it's sitting at an 81. And I actually want to get to it. I want to play it, but I feel like I need to, because when I played the demo, it reminded me so much of Neo. I feel like I need to finish what I started in Neo 2 before I ever pick up a game like Wolong. Like I want to see Neo 2 through, but it's just these games are so much of a commitment. Like you spending
It is.
80,
It is.
almost 100 hours in these
Have you
games.
played the
So
first Neo?
Yeah, I
You played
beat
and
that
beat it?
shit. It took me like 80, 90
You can skip
hours to finish through that
you can
shit.
skip Neo 2. I'm gonna keep it 1,000, bro. You can skip Neo 2.
Oh,
It
you
don't it don't
played
it
through
don't
that?
it don't hit the same, bro. I know like they added like the whole
Mm,
yokai powers and stuff like that where you can
right.
transform, which are cool additions. And but to be honest, if I had to say like which experience I enjoyed like more between like the first one versus the second one, the first one overall I felt like it was just a better experience. Neo 2 always did feel like Neo 1.5, but the
Right.
narrative
Yeah.
wasn't as great, or it just didn't hit the same to me personally. As for Wulong, I think it's sitting at what 80, at least on
Eh,
PlayStation, 82 on like Metacritic or something around there, 81,
Yeah, at the
82.
81 right now.
Yeah, 81 on Metacritic, which is not a bad score at all. It ain't a bad
No,
score at
hell
all.
no.
It's good. I think that's worth checking out, especially if you're one of these, uh, if you're a Souls fan, Sekiro fan, into like the hard type and Ninja Gaiden games. The thing is,
Mm-hmm.
when I played Wulong the first time, so I don't know, the game could have changed since then, but when I played it the first time, I felt like I felt like it added too much from each thing. You know, what I mean, it felt
Like
like it
each
tried to
Souls
be
game.
yeah, it tried to be Sekiro, it
Mhm.
tried to be Neo, it tried to, and I always felt in terms of like the combat, it lacked like the weightiness with the hits. Like when you play a game like Sekiro, like the impacts when you actually hit land a sword hit, it's just so satisfying. And I think that's
Mhm.
due to like Sekiro having amazing sound design as well. I always felt
Yeah.
like when I played the beta or the alpha or whatever it was, like it felt very light. I don't know if that's a if people understand what I'm trying to say by that, but it didn't feel very
Mhm.
weighty in the sense of like the impact of the moves felt didn't feel as great. Um, Also, I was
Mm.
very underwhelmed by the visuals at the time. And I know graphics ain't everything, but I was just surprised how nasty the game looked on the PS4 at the time when I tried it. But I'm sure maybe by now it's gone better, and I'm gonna install the PC version to see how it compares when it releases tomorrow, and I'll probably give it another go to get another impressions. But yeah, Wulong is one of them games I'm gonna check out, but I'm not running to it right now because
Yeah.
based on my first impressions, I was kind of cool on not like run into the game immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of cool on it.
And shout out to Kid Smooth. I was actually watching his like review slash impressions of the game. And he actually started his review with like a 2-3 minute clip of him like raging and shit.
Hmm.
And it low key made me miss like his live streams where he would be raging over them
Set
hard
up the
games and
challenge,
shit like
yo.
that.
They need to set up
Fam,
a challenge for him, huh?
we need one. It's so funny, just like his reaction to shit because like you know how he is. Like he don't like to adjust to things. He like to
Yeah,
just
you
beat
do it
the
the
same
same way over.
fucking spot over and over and over again. So I could clearly see that's what's been happening in this spot when I was watching his review. But shout out to him. Y'all go check that review out that he put on the Wolong. Not even review, I would say impressions. Because he said he spent like 30 hours in the game. But yo,
First
Smooth,
impressions,
pick up
man.
another challenge, man. The streets need that. We need that entertainment, please.
Yeah. Shout out to Jack moving in the chat. What's up, bro? Um, yeah, so Wulong, man, we're gonna check it out. I believe it releases tomorrow. So we'll probably give you guys an updated impression. I'll give you my updated impressions once I actually get hands on the final version of the game, and then I'll give you guys what I think of it after
Mhm.
checking it out once more.
For sure.
Yes, sir. All right. I say let's shift gears a little bit and talk about Forspoken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pretty
Yes.
much First Spoken, we've gotten some news about the studio behind it. It seems like they've been disbanded and got merged into Square Enix. I believe the studio is called Luminous. These are the
Yeah,
developers
Luminous
behind
Productions.
Luminous Production. This is the studio behind Final Fantasy 15 and now
Hmm.
Forspoken. And for some reason, Square Enix decided to bring them back home, pretty much disbanded the studio, so the studio don't exist more, but they're merging into Square Enix. So in a sense, it's still kind of good news that developer jobs probably didn't people they probably didn't lose their jobs in a sense, J Main, but they just
Right.
work for the overall parent company on whatever next project they got over there. And why do you think this is the case, J Main? Why they all of a sudden got disbanded like this and they
Because
dissolved
Forspoken is
Luminous?
a motherfucking flop. But nah, like for them, I think they gave them two chances as far as sending them out there on their own to try and create something. In fact, the fact that they even gave them Final Fantasy was a huge shock to me. Like looking back on it in retrospect, it's like, damn, they actually, gave them
Their
a,
biggest
a
IP
fresh
right now,
studio.
right?
Yeah, their biggest IP that they got going. I mean, but and I'm like, so to see them, that's also why I had a little like high hopes for Spoken because I actually liked Final
I
Fantasy
like
15.
Final
I
Fantasy
know.
15 too. I do.
Yeah, so like
Yeah, you're not
I
alone,
have
bro.
fun. I have fun with the game, and so like to see them do Forspoken, and when it was first revealed, it actually looked great to me. But when you actually start to play it and you start to see what it is, you start to realize that this studio is not ready to be on their own. And it sucks to say that because it's almost like the from Final Fantasy 15 to this, it feels like a like a
A
back,
down, yeah, it
yeah,
sounds
like a
like I
downgrade.
said that
Like
too.
they took a
It feels
step
like a
back.
downgrade. Yeah, it
Yeah, so
does.
I'm like I'm playing through it and I'm just like what happened? Like the
Yeah,
towns feel empty and they feel like soulless. You're playing through the open world and it just feels like super like repetitive and boring in terms of like the stuff that you're doing. And then like the traversal is cool, but I ain't gonna front that shit kind of gets old too. So it's like I don't know. It was like nothing from that game that was like sticking with me. Whereas when I played Final Fantasy 15, like I felt like that combat and what was going on in
but
that
that
game,
combat was fun.
it was fire. It kept me wanting to do more, and I just don't feel like Forspoken had that. And so, like, I feel like the studio is talented in ways, but for them to be merging back with Square Enix, I think is best for them because now they'll be able to focus those talents in specific
Yeah,
key areas rather than a whole grand scale of a whole game. Where I don't feel like they're ready to do that in terms of what we got with like Forspoken and stuff like that.
yeah. Pretty much, you pretty much said everything that I would say on this topic. Yeah, so I guess we'll see the future. I think in the end of the day, this is probably better. Like you were saying, I think this is probably better for
Hmm.
them under some better supervision, maybe better, more experienced developers back at Square Enix, and they'll probably be cooking up something worthwhile this time. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, Luminous is gone, people. Another studio kind of bites the dust, but at least people they didn't really lose their job like that. So I guess that's a benefit in all of that in this whole
Yeah.
situation.
I mean, do you see this as like a bad thing for Square or like or even I mean for this studio, I mean they probably they probably look at it as a bad thing, but they tried to
Yeah,
like, sugarcoat it like, oh, just the fact that we were able to make a AAA game was a dream come true, but don't
yeah,
nobody
we
want
know
to
what.
be
Yeah, we knew. Yeah, we know what's really going on, bro. You know what I mean? Like we
right.
knew what's really going on. So yeah,
Yeah, like
it's
it's like
tough.
when you were a kid and your mom finally give you a key to the house and then you fuck up and she take the
Take it
key
away.
back. You're like,
Take it
oh
away from
no,
you,
I
pretty much.
was just so happy to be able to hold the key, but I'll be okay with her having it. Like nah, shut up.
Yeah.
Like
We
you
know. We
just
know what really happened. There was a little bit of
saying what's
drama.
right.
Shifting gears, there's a little bit of drama as well since we're on this. About
With
Baldur's Gate 3.
Luminous?
Now,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
different topic about Baldur's Gate 3. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty much during that state of play, we did get an announcement that it's releasing on PS5 as well as PC, I believe at the same time.
Right.
And all the stuff that's happening with the FTC, the CMA, the EU, the whole conversation surrounding about exclusivity and who money hats games and stuff like that. So pretty much there was a little bit of drama going on. That some people in the Xbox community was pretty much saying, look. Baldur's Gate 3, Sony paid for exclusivity on their platform and all sorts of shit, blah, blah, blah. And this isn't y'all blocking the Activision deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, so pretty much I was like kind of like the conversation. So it
Right.
turns out that's not the case at all, J-Main. The developers came out and said that, nah, we are, and we're working on the Xbox version, but we actually ran into technical issues.
You
So
see what happens?
we ran into technical issues, so we
You see
couldn't
what
confirm
happens?
a release date on the Xbox platform. So they weren't 100% in announcing the game on Xbox for that reason. That's why so far it's a PC, PS5 game, at least at launch, but they're working on the Xbox version, they said. So,
I just think it's funny that these Xbox dudes was worried so much about Sony to only have to get the truth, and now you should be worried about your damn console. Like
yeah.
this is supposed to be the world's most powerful console, right? It eats monsters for breakfast, but they can't figure out how to get the Baldur's Gate game to run on the system in order for it to come out the same day as the PS5 and the PC versions. So it's funny that I just think it's ironic that that happened.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty ironic. Yeah.
this is probably gonna be a little conversation that we have in a bit. But I still think people are missing the whole point in terms of why people are coming after at least Phil Spencer. My point in terms of the exclusivity thing and not worried about. Not, I wouldn't say not worried about Sony doing exclusive deals, but just the conversation. Sony never talks about having games everywhere so that everybody can play. It's Phil Spencer that says that. So when PlayStation does these deals, these exclusivity deals, it makes sense for them to do it. Because that's the stuff that they preach.
Like
where
their narrative. But you got what, like, say, I think I said it once on this podcast as well. Like, you got to read between the lines. They're trying to say everywhere but PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
we're down to put their games everywhere but PlayStation. So, I think that's actually this is a perfect transition, and we can get into Phil Spencer's latest interview that he did with Xbox On, which
Hold on, before we do switch though, like,
all right, no
what do you
problem.
think? What do you think is the technical issue that they're running into? Because like
With
a lot of
Baldur's
people have
Gate 3?
been,
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure, like, the culprit, everyone's probably gonna blame the Xbox Series X or something like that. But
yes,
somebody,
blame that motherfucker.
I
Blame
know
that
somebody.
bitch.
I know. I'm
The
pretty
worst
sure that's gonna
mistake
be
in
the
gaming.
narrative. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be the narrative. Which, you know what is crazy? Since we're talking about the Xbox Series X, apparently Verizon has a deal for the customers that they're selling the Xbox Series X for $150 or something crazy. Have you seen
Yeah,
that? That's
yeah,
nuts. That's nuts.
they
Holy
can't give that
shit.
motherfucker away.
Holy,
Didn't they just
$150.
have a whole holiday, like a crazy holiday discount on it? Now
Verizon or
Verizon's giving that
Xbox?
motherfucker out. Soon it's gonna be Boost Mobile.
Holy, don't do it like that. Holy, that
Wait,
150
wait,
bones.
you know
That's
how
crazy. You know, some
wait,
collector's editions cost more than that for a single game. A collector's edition, bro. I just pre-ordered a Final Fantasy 16 Deluxe edition for like 150 right now.
yeah, you can get a Series S instead. Listen, you know
That's
how like Cardi B and
crazy.
Offset got the McDonald's meal? Like they
Yeah.
about to have the Xbox Series S meal. Like, you buy a Big Mac and some fries,
Oh
and you get the
man, don't
you
do it
get
like that.
an
Don't do
you get the
don't do it
Xbox
like that,
Series S
bro.
with it.
Nah, bro, don't do it like that. That's crazy, yo. Yo, this shit, they be having some crazy ass deals for that. But honestly, for the Baldur's Gate 3, I don't know. Somebody in the chat says something about the minimum specs. Go look at the minimum specs, and something doesn't add up. So I have to actually take a look at Baldur's Gate's minimum specs,
Right.
to go and see if
But we
something
all
looks
know PC is
fishy.
different. PC is
Yeah,
different.
yeah. I don't
Open
know what it
platform
is. I
type
don't know.
shit.
Look, so we can't really. I'm not the developers there behind there, so I don't know. I can't put the blame on the Series X exactly, but they saying that they ran into some technical issues developing on that platform. So whether it's the Series X or S, I have no idea.
It's
But
the S, my boy.
I know the
Look,
popular speculation is gonna be the S is holding it back,
bro,
right?
look, like as much as people talk, like, so eventually sometimes yes, the S does get like updates and patches to perform the way it's supposed to, but that's the I think that's the problem. Is it probably takes more time to optimize for the Series S in order to
Maybe,
get it
probably.
at a working standard. Like we seen it with like Dying Light. Like at first it didn't have a 60 FPS mode or some shit
Then
like that,
later
and
on
then
it
later
came,
on it
right?
came.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly probably what has happened. The Series X is probably fine, but they
Probably.
have to spend more time optimizing it for the Series S in order to get it running like the people expected to run, and that's just is what it is.
You
Like,
know what? I actually have a question, and I think I would like to hear your opinion on this. So, do you think it's wise for since Xbox wants to do this whole two-tier console system, one with the affordable kind, and one with the Series? Do you think it's wise of them to do a Series S plus type of console? Do you think that's a wise decision to do to
what
run
would that
games
be?
better? Like phase out the Series S at one point, but maybe update it to a certain standard where it can play like a little bit closer to the Series X. Do you think that's like a wise choice for them to do and slowly phase out like the Xbox Series S, but do an
Nah.
Xbox Series S Plus? Do you think that would piss off consumers, or do you think that's a good idea, or you think they should just discontinue that shit at all and just
Oh,
work on the Series X?
I'm on record saying that the Series S is the worst mistake in gaming to date.
You
But
you say that, but I feel like the
yeah,
bulk of Xbox's sales is probably Series X consoles, though.
I mean,
I'm
Yeah,
willing to
because
bet. I don't have the numbers in front of me, and Microsoft's not going to provide. But I'm willing to
I mean,
bet
yeah,
that
the shit
Series
is
X.
$300. So
I'm willing to
like
bet the more
casual wise, you
casuals will
walk in,
buy
you
it.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that shit, but they don't know that they're buying a mistake. They don't know that. So they, in terms of tricking the consumer, you're right. That's definitely a wise decision. But in terms of development, like we're seeing it over and over where developers are coming out saying that it's holding stuff back or they have to come out
Yeah.
later and do a patch for it.
So
What
what's the
they should
solution here? What's the solution here?
the solution would have been to do a diskless Xbox Series X and make it fucking like $400 or some shit like that. But
That's not a bad idea too. That's not a bad
I,
idea
I
too.
think they keep it though. I think they keep it. I think they just keep the two-tier thing like they got because I think that's their best bet in terms of like getting these shits out
Competing.
the door. Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point, I think that's their best bet. Like, especially if
Honestly,
they get like an Activision Blizzard
I feel
and
that
that goes through.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like what you're saying is the case because at this point we know Xbox is not the popular console worldwide to have, right? You know the
Right.
position that Microsoft is in. So I feel like it's either that they build like a really strong, or with the Series X it gets a really significant price cut to be competitive to get your console out there more, or
Yeah.
you keep this console around, right, and use it to at least build up your ecosystem even more because honestly, with the games, Microsoft, we already know it's like beating a dead horse. We already know their biggest issue right now is producing. Look, I would even say Microsoft puts out good games, but I think where Microsoft and PlayStation differ, J Main, is that they don't have blockbuster releases. It's like it comes very so often that they truly have like a blockbuster release. Like Mike's, yeah, sure, Xbox releases great games, but they don't release no Last of Us like that kind of blockbuster feel. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's been a
Mhm.
while. I feel like their IPs that used to do that too, like the Gears of War and Halo, too. Um, when they do that,
Yeah.
it's not really hitting the same as it
Yeah, it
used
ran
to,
its
as it once
course.
was, right?
Hmm.
So I think that's their biggest issue. It's not that okay, they're not capable of dropping some great games, but I think they have to take it above and beyond and drop some blockbuster games and market them like Sony. Yo, Sony be going so crazy with their advertisement with these games too. Like with the whole Spider-Man roll, I remember they're painting like the whole freaking New York buses and covering them
Oh
or
yeah,
subways and
the
all. Like
trains and
they
shit.
need to
Yep.
really like care for their IP like that. You know what I mean? Like they need
But
to take it
I
to the
think
next level like
they
that.
probably still looking for that one to spend that money on. Like maybe they don't have the confidence in these games that are coming out where they do that. But sometimes, as a you gotta like, you almost gotta like trick the consumer into thinking some shit is what it isn't. Like if you have like say for instance you have like a big game and you playing it and you're like damn this is gonna come out but it's not like it's not
It's
living
not
up to,
moving the
to the
needle.
standards that we
Or it's
have.
not moving the
Yeah,
needle.
so
It's not doing
you
that.
gotta kind of take a risk and over market that motherfucker and hopefully like that shit to catch on and find its niche or just group of people that'll pass the word around that oh
Yeah,
no
yeah.
this is not bad because marketing can go a long fucking way.
That's what I'm
We see
saying.
we've
Like,
seen it plenty of times.
because when I sit back and I look, like it's just such a. Am I saying? Am I not saying blockbuster? How am I supposed to say block? I'm saying it wrong.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Block. Okay, let me say it proper. Blockbuster. Okay. I
Did
feel
y'all
like
have a blockbuster
yeah, we did,
video? Oh, okay.
we did.
I was about to say maybe you might not be used to saying that
No,
word.
no,
'Cause
no, 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 no,
shit,
no.
every
It's just
Friday it was like,
you
can we
know,
go to
it's just my
Blockbuster?
dialect. It's just how I talk. You know, it's just my accent. It's how I talk, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I feel like games like that they got coming like with the Redfall, like that's like a perfect example. Like I feel like when we look at a game like that, yeah, it doesn't necessarily look bad, but once again, I feel like it also doesn't push the needle. Like
Right.
it doesn't it is not showing up anything that it pushes the needle, whether it's visual fidelity that nobody has seen, attention to detail in terms of gameplay loop, like none of those aspects looks like it's pushing things forward, where I feel on the PlayStation side they're much better at doing that. At least when we I know this is gonna be some people hate the game or hate the story, but like when we seen The Last of Us Part Two, like everything
Right.
surrounding that game, I actually played that game not too long ago. I'm revisiting it and trying to get the platinum on my Jack Move account, and I'm like, I can't even lie, me revisiting that shit, like the attention to detail is out of this world. Like, you know what I mean? Like they do a lot of stuff that's like I haven't kind of seen in video games, especially in that type of genre before, like the level of attention to detail. So I feel like, Microsoft needs a little bit more of those, like, to push. Y'all, they're dropping great games and they have great games coming down the pipeline, but they need some of those games to push the envelope. And J
Maybe
Man,
Starfield to do
it
that.
might be Starfield. That's what I was just about to say. It might be Starfield, right? Maybe they bought the right one, man. Maybe they,
We'll
you know what I would say. Even though, like, right now, a lot of people seem to not have typical faith, or, well, I think that's just the public or the Twitter or our circle that we see that they just be dissing Starfield like that. Because when you're outside the circle and you just see, it seems like a lot of people are actually really excited for that game. It's
I ain't gonna
literally
front
it is the
that wish
one.
list shit. It
Yeah.
shocked the fuck out of me.
It's
When
yeah,
we were-
it's
when you
yeah.
said that on Twitter, I was like, wait,
That's
nigga,
what I'm
what?
saying. That's what I'm saying. I think on our little circle, it's just we have the people and the fanboys be dissing it, but Starfield is actually one of the most anticipated games to release this year. And think about all the number one wish list game on Steam, and one have not done crazy
Numbers, yeah.
crazy numbers in terms of concurrent players. I'm sure,
But
this
PC
game is
dudes
gonna
love Bethesda.
Yeah.
They know because they like, oh, it's the
love
charm, and then
Bethesda.
we'll just fix it for them.
So-
Fix it for them, so we'll love it.
Since this is supposed to be the quote unquote the next quote unquote Skyrim, the next Oblivion, this might be at least a game that's like the shining beacon for Xbox and then for now. But if you're asking me, from what I've seen, I already expressed how I feel about the gunplay in the game. The gunplay, I feel like
Yeah, trash.
it looks a little wonky. I felt like the performance from what I've seen looked a little wonky. The visuals itself is also not looking great, but I also understand why people play these type of games, J-Main, for the really deep, robust role playing mechanics and stuff like that. So I do understand why people play these games, and I guess if it excels in that, this could be the next big release for Microsoft. And I want to see it again, bro. When are we getting this?
Yo,
Starfield
that's
direct
what I was getting
or
ready to
developer
say.
release, bro.
Because if it is supposed to be coming by June, like, come on, like they gotta let's go. Like we need to the showcase for the Starfield needs to happen by this month, and then the promotion needs to kick into overdrive. Like this is what I was talking about. Like even if they don't feel like Starfield is gonna, be the next Skyrim, people feel that way from the outside. Like we like, yo, this has to be it. Market that motherfucker like it is. I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I'm gonna play regardless on Game Pass, but market that motherfucker like it is. Like I want to see Microsoft pump some dollars into some marketing because, like you were saying, like we don't really see that from them, and I think Starfield can be that for them. This is supposed to be their their big game for the year.
I feel like that's also been lacking on the Xbox camp side too. Like I was saying earlier, like with the whole Spider-Man example, I feel like PlayStation goes above and beyond to put some of these games in your faces. The games that they know that they're great, first of all, and they're gonna do well. Like they go crazy with the marketing, and I felt like Microsoft's marketing lately for their big games just hasn't been all that great, like a game like Starfield that needs to be like plastered everywhere if they really have that confidence that it's gonna be the next like big hit for them. You know what I'm saying? They need to really go stupid with the marketing, put it in people's faces, and hopefully the game is actually quality. The game's quality and is actually meets gamers' expectations and fans of that type of genre. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely
I
gonna be
hope
checking
so.
it out though. I hope so
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
I'm watching the best for that
Absolutely.
game, bro, because I do like
Me
that
too.
whole space shit, and hopefully they clean it up, and the RPG mechanics are really addicting and fun. Great customizations, great world building with the characters, great stories, side stories, and just dope shit, man. I'm really hoping that game does turn out great for them, and it's definitely one of the most anticipated. I'm sure it's gonna do well no matter what in terms of sales, because it seems like the PC crowd is all behind it. I'm thinking concurrent players is gonna be something stupid high on Steam. I think so.
Actually, was Skyrim was on Steam, right? Was it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they had their own launcher.
Well, you're about to check.
No.
You're about to
No, I
check
just
the
wanted to see
contract.
like like what they games be doing on Steam. Like, okay, damn. Fallout 4 had a 400,000,
Nah, yeah, yeah.
472,000.
Them games don't, PC gamers love Bethesda Softworks, bro. They love them
Yeah.
games, bro. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Because they're traditionally like PC games. Like, I know they came to consoles like Morrow and stuff like that, like came to consoles
Right.
like a little bit later. But these are traditionally like PC games, you know what I mean? Like that's where their history lies. So I guess they have a really great rapport with like PC gamers and stuff like that, like their games. I think that's why
For
they perform so
sure.
well on PC. And
Yeah.
just
Like
like
Drew
YouTube
Tube said in the
yeah,
chat.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
mod community,
mods.
the mod community is
Facts.
really big for that, for those type of games. So I'm sure it's gonna do really well on PC. We got a super chat donations from Rufflemud. I appreciate it. He says more evidence drop about the next Nintendo hardware, and it seems legit. I believe them because of the Xbox deal. Xbox likely knows what the next device is. I'm pretty sure they all do. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure PlayStation, Microsoft are all in the know. They all work with these chip manufacturers, the people who provide all of this stuff. So, if they're gonna know something about what everybody's working on the low. I think so. I think some stuff is close to the chest, but they'll probably be the first to know before people like us are. So,
Yeah.
all right. So
Yeah, we
back
hear
to
Inklings. They definitely are. They
yeah,
definitely know more.
yeah. So back to this Phil Spencer interview. So pretty much he's all of Microsoft has been on a pretty much press tour about this whole Call of Duty thing, bro. It's
Right.
not this might be the sixth or seventh time that Phil Spencer had to come out and like reiterate that Call of Duty we're not trying to take Call of Duty from PlayStation gamers. So I think that was a big point of this interview. That they were trying to do. And he kind of reiterated that like everyone's focusing on Call of Duty. Everyone's focused on Call of Duty, but mobile games that which I'm sure that there's some truth to this that they do care about the mobile stuff because it does bring in
Oh
some
yeah,
sort of
it's a
money.
lot of money.
I'm sure
It's a
it's a
lot of
lot of
money in
money
that.
it brings in, so I'm sure that they care.
Hmm.
But I think at the core of this deal, they know what the Call of Duty numbers bring and what it does, and
Hmm.
they want to make sure that's part of it. Because remember when I believe it was the CMA who gave them like okay we could remedy this situation by you guys kind of splitting Activision and I mean yeah Activision part or like Call of Duty part and making a separate business, but I think
Right.
they came out and said yo we're not interested in doing that, bro. We're not interested
Nah.
in doing that at all. So I think Call of Duty is also at the center of this deal, but they're kind of trying to bring up this like mobile thing like that's all that they care about, but I think Call of Duty is a big piece of this and they're not going to let go of Call of Duty at all.
Yeah.
Did you watch the
So
interview?
yeah, I did. Actually, I watched it. I checked it out.
What's
And
some of the points? What's some points that you got out of it, or some interesting
yeah.
details?
So he he got to talking about like the developer direct that they recently did, and he said like they're probably gonna have a few more the GoldenEye type announcements. So, some surprises, small
So nothing big.
surprises.
So nothing big until
Nothing big,
E3.
nothing
I
big
caught
until
that too.
June.
Yeah, I caught
Yeah.
that too.
So nothing big until June in terms of announcements and stuff like that, which makes sense. Like E3 is right there, so
Yeah,
they're
it's not
probably in the
far.
middle
Yeah,
of planning and shit like that.
yeah.
And then they pretty much got into the whole Activision Blizzard. What I did appreciate though about this, I forget the chick's name, but it was on the Charlie Hodson on the Xbox on. She actually straight up asked him about like people on the internet and stuff talking to Phil Spencer about him preaching about the Call of Duty and making sure like they want to give games to everybody and bring it to more platforms, but why are games like that are from Bethesda going to be exclusive to Xbox?
And the
And I
answer,
thought, yeah, and I thought that was a interesting question because that's pretty
that's
much
what.
been my
Yeah,
biggest beef with the whole conversation from them is that Phil is preaching this, games for everybody everywhere, but
that's a
games like
PlayStation.
Starfield,
That's a PlayStation. That's what you have to
games,
understand. Games for
games like
everyone. It's a
Starfield and
PlayStation.
Rev. Right, but like so when they talk about Call of Duty, they talk about keeping that on PlayStation
Yeah.
and Activision
So
games and stuff like that.
so during the interview he made the comparison with Call of Duty like we're gonna treat it just like Minecraft.
Right.
Every update, everyone's gonna get it. We're not gonna. So I think he's been pretty clear about like yo all the games that are currently active on PlayStation will continue to get support. You know what I mean? He also said we're gonna look at it at a case by case basis as well with some releases
But you
and
don't
stuff
see
like
that
that.
as hypocritical, like because why is that the energy? Like if you so much about giving games to everybody,
What he said
why is
during the
that the
interview,
energy
but he said
with
he
this
said in
game
the
and not
interview
with the
though.
Bethesda games?
He said in the interview, he say something about how exclusives is like marketing beats and everybody has that and stuff like that. Didn't he? I believe he had a quote in
Yeah, he
saying
he
that
pretty
like
much
it's
said
part of
like
it.
that's the
Like
way of
yo,
the industry.
this
That's
is the
part
way
of
of
the
the industry.
industry.
Everybody
Right.
has exclusives. He even said on the interview, and he says he describes it as exclusives are marketing beats for your platform or whatever it is. I guess to just
So which is it then? Which is it with him? Is it we following the industry here with exclusive things, or are we bringing everything to everybody?
What?
Like,
You know what? I think where the disconnect is like the gamers like watching this everything unfold is look, it's this man's job. You have to remember that like it's this man's job to kind of blow smoke up people's asses and say the right things. Like you guys, we understand that. Like it's his job to really do. He ain't gonna come out and not and be like, you know what I mean, bro. It's his job to promote the Xbox platform to make it look as best as he can, embellish it as much as he can, or play. It's his job to do this. He's at a fucking Xbox. So like, what do people expect him to come out and say? So I think when they're saying that Call of Duty is going to be on PlayStation and for the foreseeable future, I think it's genuine. I think when he says with the games that are currently on PlayStation, they're not going to take it. I think that's genuine. But I believe that the new releases that they do they're definitely going to be on Xbox only. I think the new releases and stuff like that, besides Call of Duty, because no one's talking about the Crash Bandicoots, no one's talking about the Spire. I think it's going to be about that. And as for the Bethesda deal, did he ever promise like games like Starfield and stuff were gonna come to like competitors' platforms? Did he ever promise that?
No, because I don't know if Starfield was ever announced for like platforms by the time they had ended up buying them, but we all know Starfield was coming to PlayStation. Like that's not even.
Yeah, we already
like,
know that.
a shadow of doubt.
I think there was even rumors at one point that PlayStation was shopping to get exclusivity of Starfield.
Yeah, they were trying to. Yeah, I did.
PlayStation was trying to get exclusivity of Starfield.
I did see that. So like we know like it was happening, but it goes back to what you said. That's why he worded it the way that he did. Because then he can get away. But I just look at it. I mean, politician shit, bullshit to me in my eyes. Like, come on, like stop preaching this games for everybody everywhere bullshit. Like Call of Duty could have went to every other platform if it wanted to without Microsoft being involved. If Activision wanted to put that shit on Nintendo, they could have did that shit a while ago. It don't take Microsoft to buy them to do that.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta stop looking at this like that. We gotta know that this is a play just to get the deal closed.
So so you agree with me that he is a politician?
No, he's a politician. He's a politician. Bro, of course. What have I not been saying? I'm saying is his job to say all of this stuff and say all the right things. So I know why people take it. I don't know why he's politicking. Exactly. This is what he's supposed to do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that like what y'all saying is incorrect. I'm just saying like, what do y'all expect him to like? He's politicking right now. A lot of these guys be doing the politic talk, bro.
Yeah,
y'all have to see through it. Like, I'm just saying, you have to see through it. Yeah, it is a lot of the kumbaya. So like, we know what's going on, Jamie. We know what's really going on.
It just pissed me off when this nigga get presented with awards and shit like that.
You know what's really going on, bro. You know what's happening, and we know what's really going on here, bro. Like, we know what they're trying to do. This is like the executive talk, the PR talk, but it seems like people always fall for this type of shit too. Like I remember even earlier, even on the PlayStation side of things, or like Jim Ryan would would say certain things and like fans like can't see through like the bullshit or like they just can't see through the PR talk. They gotta be called out for the politics.
But they gotta be called out on some shit like stuff like that too, because sometimes like if you don't, like they just take it too far. And I feel like this is a case where they're taking it too far. Like I don't really give a fuck about like the deal going through and appeasing the CMA and the FTC and grandma and all these other people. I don't care, but it's like I don't like the language that they're using because that's the bullshit that gets over on the casuals when it comes to languages that might impact me one day. Like that's the language that they use when it comes to like paying to play online. Like that's the type of language they would use. And you gotta call some shit out and nip it in the bud so that they know like, all right, we on your ass, we watching you. We want you to feel that pressure. That's why I appreciate.
I got a question though.
At least asking that question.
You said the casuals, but I got a question. And me, I don't know. But do you think the casuals are well aware of like the ins and outs of these details and like watching these type of interviews like we watch that? You think they actually paying attention to this shit?
Not this deal, but what I'm saying is it's the language that they use that shows up in other places. So for instance, when they talk about like paying to play online, like if we was to ever revolt about something like that, they'll come on and be like, oh, you guys paying to play helps us increase better servers and shit like that. We all know that's bullshit.
It's bullshit. Like, we know that's bullshit.
It's bullshit, right? We know so you know what I'm saying? Like so stuff like that moving into the future or like live service stuff, we seeing live service pop up more and more. It's like the language that they use is like it's manipulative.
Here's a hot take. I feel like the hardcore gamers fall for that shit more than fall for that shit more than anybody. Honestly, I feel like the hardcore fanatics who follow this to a T take these executives at word
for
as
this
bond,
type
bro.
of shit, yeah. For
I
this
feel
type
like
of
the
shit,
fanboys take this shit word as bomb, bro. Whether it's Jim Ryan speaking or it's Phil Spencer speaking, they be taking it. I remember when they were saying, especially on the PlayStation side, they were saying like something about like the transition in between the PS5 and the PS4, or we believe in generation. That hurt a lot of people. At least
nigga, that hurt
community.
me.
That hurt a lot of people. I'm like, we believe in, but like, yo, J-Man, but I guess we weren't thinking about it logically, because if you're really taking it in, what made you think that they're gonna drop everything on the PS4, 130 million users or whatever the number is, all of a sudden completely focus on the PS5? Bro. It's not gonna happen, bro. Like we're thinking logically.
They did it with 150 million users. That's why I thought so. With the PS2 to the PS3.
You know what? I think that's not a fair comparison, but because once, if you remember that generation, the transition from the PS2 to PS3, they were still releasing PS2 games. I believe God of War came out while the PS3 was out.
It did. It did.
You know what I'm saying?
Did.
So, and PS2 got support for PS2 got support for a really long time too. But I think it's a little bit different.
PS3 had its own exclusives.
But you got it. But you know, I agree. But I think where it differs is the technology between the PS2 and the PS3 it's vastly different. And I think that's where we got to look and be fair on the situation. Bro,
in terms of technology,
the technology
it's more similar.
Yeah, the technology between the PS2 and the PS3 is vastly fucking different. Where
I still don't buy that though.
The tech between the PS5 and the PS4, bro, the architecture is essentially they're all using x86 architecture. I'm pretty sure for them to release games on both platforms between the PS4 and the PS5, right? It's much easier. I'm not a developer, but I'm assuming that's much easier to make a cross-gen game with the PS4 and PS5 in mind versus the PS2 and the PS3 in mind. Would you agree? I'm not a tech head, but I'm pretty sure.
I would agree.
Looking at the technologies, it's way easier to do that in this generation than ever before. So it seems like a lot of people believe that whole like, oh, we believe in generations and they weren't going to release, they're going to completely abandon the PS4. But I'm saying, we thinking logically, it doesn't even make sense for them to do such a thing, especially this early on into the console cycle generation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's just funny. All of a sudden, they started caring about the old people. But hold up. But now the Horizon DLC for Forbidden West is PS5 only. Yeah. Well, what about all the people that voted for PS4? I thought y'all cared about them.
Yeah, it's a slow transition. You know what I mean?
Bullshit.
It's a slow transition. I felt like
my problem was. You could have did that shit 2-3 years ago and gave us these full potential PS5 games instead of this bullshit ass cross-gen bullshit.
These guys are Xbox, PlayStation. All these guys are here to sell you a product. Remember that. At the end of the day, they're trying to sell you. They're gonna tell you what you want to hear. They're gonna say all the right things. They're gonna make the community hype. And
we're gonna eat that shit up because we don't fight back.
Because that's their job at the end of the day. So I think us as quote unquote hardcore enthusiast gamers who watch this type of stuff we have to be the wise one to take it in and assess what we're watching and listening to and be like, this is bullshit, you capping. We know what's really, we have to be the more intelligent ones to not fall for the PR lingo and the talks and the bullshit and all of that stuff. Like,
call it out.
This whole Xbox, well, when we call it out and we tweet about it on Twitter, I don't know what that really does. Me typing on Twitter, Spencer, you being hypocritical about playing for everyone. Why not put the games on PlayStation? I don't know if that essentially does anything.
It might start a conversation somewhere that'll lead somewhere. You just never know. Like shit, I mean, Black Bomb remind us all the time, but we was the ones talking about Battlefront 2. Like, oh, it's too late. They're not gonna change the whole booty box shit, and the conversation got loud enough, and they changed that shit. So you just never know. So
I guess my question is, at least when it comes to the big conversation about like the hypocrisy, the lies, and stuff like that. My question is, we making enough noise about it, they will release like Starfield and Redfall on PS5. I guess that's the ultimate goal. If you're gonna go with this, release it on everybody and drop Starfield, Redfield, all of Bethesda's games on PS5. Is that that's the goal that we're trying to achieve?
Probably not, but what it might let them know is for the next shit, we watching you, motherfucker. We got our eyes on you. We know you got your slick tongue ass motherfucker politician.
We know what's going on.
We got our eyes on you.
There's a lot of politicking going on.
Yeah. It's too late for Starfield and all them other games. It's too late for those. But once again, for the next shit coming up, And then I don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
I'm
bro,
gonna
you
play the
already know.
shit wherever it's at.
Yeah, wherever it's at, we're gonna play it. So it doesn't really matter. Like to us, is whether it doesn't release on PlayStation or it does, is irrelevant. I'm gonna play it where I want to play it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think when it comes like the whole Bethesda situation and how games like Redfall, Hi-Fi Rush and stuff, like I think that those type of shit is expected to be Xbox only, and I expect with the Activision acquisition when that closes through, the big game that everybody's worried about, that PlayStation's worried about mainly, that's the only point of their
Call of
conversation
Duty.
has been Call of Duty. I think that one will be. I'm actually confident that one will be treated like a Minecraft situation where
Mhm.
all future Call of Duties will come on PlayStation. But I do think this is the big master plan, J-Man. If I'm trying to look through it, I think this is a master plan. After the 10-year term, so that's pretty one console generation cycle, right? After
Yeah.
10 years, we're looking into the next iteration of the PS5, the next. I still think it's going to be multi-platform, but I think when Microsoft comes to the table, it's going to be a different conversation between splits, marketing, stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
It's going to be a whole different conversation when it comes to that. I think Microsoft will gladly support that. I think Microsoft is not stupid enough to know that, if we take this game off PlayStation, if even Call of Duty is relevant in the next decade, it might be, it might not be. I guess no one will know in the future, right? But if it remains as popular as it is, I think Microsoft is just trying to put themselves in a position where they have a lot more leverage, and I think they'll play the long game in terms of the 10-year deal, and they're gonna play nice and do all of this shit until when it's time to renegotiate deals. I don't know if we're gonna be here 10 years later, J Main, but who knows? Maybe we'll be still following each other on Twitter. And
Oh,
I'm
I'm gonna
willing to
be
bet
here.
that GeForce Now, all that shit's gonna be canceled by all of that shit in 10 years
Oh,
time.
the streaming shit.
All that shit gonna be canceled. Like now they have this partnership with Nvidia, and now we're gonna put all our games. I think all that
Uh
shit
huh.
they're gonna put an axe to all of that shit as soon as this shit's done. I think that's the ultimate goal. Right now, you could tell
Oh.
that they're playing nice. They're saying all the right things just to get this deal to close. We're gonna bring Call of Duty. We're gonna bring all these things right to 150 more million gamers. See, we're all about the
Mm-hmm.
competition, but the end goal is they're just trying to secure this whole Activision Blizzard King thing. To ultimately, their goal is to not really reach more gamers, but it's to really boost themselves up. Remember, everyone is looking for self interest here, right? We got to understand that, right?
Of
Self
course.
preservation, self interest. All these companies are looking after. So I think they're all playing the game, bro. PlayStation knows what they're doing by crying wolf and doing all of this shit, trying to step on it. They're all playing the politics. They're all playing the game. We got a super chat donation from Anthony. He says Xbox Cloud PC, your grandmother's fridge versus
Versus
PlayStation, bro.
PlayStation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's
But
everywhere,
yeah,
baby.
man.
150 million
I think
or
honestly,
billion
the,
was it?
the, the interview wasn't nothing super prolific. First of all,
No, it
like
was
it's stuff
short,
that it was
but
short. It's stuff that we heard. It's stuff that things have been reiterated quite a few times now. J Main too. It's not like
mm-hmm.
he's came out and said these things already, right? And it's a consistent message that they've been saying, and I think they're playing nice until the shit fall through. I guess we could talk about apparently this deal. We're in April. I know, like
Yeah.
this is never ending, but
No,
apparently in
March. We're in
April.
March.
No, but I'm hearing in April we'll
Mm.
probably get some final details about because I don't know if you heard the latest news, but the EU pretty much there's reports saying the EU is not gonna fight against like this acquisition or some shit. I think in
Oh
layman's terms,
yeah.
in NBA terms, they're not gonna fight against it. Apparently, China is not going to be disapproving the deal. So I think the battle is going to be the CMA, which I think we're going to hear from them in April, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen with that, as well as the FTC. I think
FTC.
that's
Okay.
the American one, right? And that
Yeah.
one, I think
Yeah.
they've been trying to fight that shit, but they'll probably we'll see. I guess we'll see if they're going to come to some sort of agreement or some terms where everything goes through smoothly. So I think the thing is Microsoft has won a decent battle by getting the EU on board and the
Mm-hmm.
regulators in China on board. And I think it was somewhere else as well. They're not gonna like block the deal or anything. So we're gonna hear from the CMA next
Getting
month, and
close.
hopefully we can put the saga behind us. Whether it goes through or it doesn't go through. Um. Oh, this is before we move on actually from this there were some conversations about if this deal doesn't go through, Xbox is looking to sell off the Xbox division.
Oh
Did you
yeah,
see
I
that?
seen
Did you see
that. I
that?
seen that. I seen that. I seen that. Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm not. I'm not buying that.
I'm not buying that
Uh,
either. I think that's bull.
I don't think.
His sources was definitely trust me, bro. But it doesn't make it seems like it doesn't make sense for them to do it
Right.
though. It doesn't
Why would
make
they be willing to spend that much money and they be like, all right, now we out? Like they
yeah,
just
it
use
doesn't
that
make
money to buy
sense.
up some other shit. Like it's
Yeah,
not.
it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
They'll be here.
They can
So,
re-strategize with that. And what's crazy is they actually take a little bit of well, to Microsoft it is a little bit of a, because it's $1 trillion company or some shit. But if this deal doesn't fall through, apparently they have to pay Activision about like $3 billion to break
oh,
the
they got
deal.
it. They got it.
To break the deal. So
That's light.
yeah,
And your
that's like
boy, what's his name? Bobby Kotick or whatever. Bobby, whatever. He'll be back at
yeah,
the head.
yep,
So, he'll be
yeah,
back running
yeah,
the ship.
yeah.
Yeah. Get
J man,
wild over there.
we got
What's
amazing
good?
news, bro. I woke out my
Did we?
bed, took
Mm-hmm.
out the crust out of my eyes, rolled over
Okay.
to my cell phone, picked up my cell. I looked on the timeline real quick. You know, it's my morning little tradition to see if anything
Look at that.
news.
He ain't even brush his teeth yet.
I didn't
Look,
even
look at
brush.
him,
I'm
y'all. He
still
ain't
in
even brush
bed,
his
crust in
teeth.
my eyes, breath stinky, smelling like ass. Looked at the phone. I'm like, and I read Elden Ring, um, Shadow of the Urge. Well, how do you say this? I never could pronounce this shit. The Erd Tree, yeah. Shadow of the
The
Erd
Erdtree,
Tree.
yeah.
Yeah. Shadow of the Erd Tree expansion has been announced. And I instantly
Whoa.
got super, super hyped. This is the expansion that we were waiting for, that we didn't get at the Game Awards, and it finally got announced. We didn't get no release dates or anything like that, but it's safe to assume that it ain't coming out this year. And
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they would have said it. I think they would have said it.
Well, for a DLC, I don't know. I don't feel like the
But
window needs to be that big for from announcement to release. So I could see something that like E3 where they announce a release date for later in the year. I could see that.
really,
Yeah.
I'll be shocked if it comes
Yeah.
out this year. The fact that they came with a not a trailer but a concept art kind of looking good.
Yeah, very anticlimactic announcement. Like that
Yeah,
shit was
I'm
just a
happy
tweet.
that it's confirmed. I'm happy it's confirmed and we're getting it. But
Yeah. You
it
don't see it
seems
coming
like
this year.
the way that they phrased it or they wrote it or they presented the news doesn't make me believe that it's releasing this year. And I think that the scale of Elden Ring, I don't know if they're gonna actually completely redo the map or they're gonna remix the map a little bit, like how they did, like how we're seeing in Tears of a Kingdom, where I'm pretty sure it's the same
Right.
Hyrule, but they're gonna remix the map a little bit, put some shit in the sky and stuff
Yeah,
like
more
that.
explorable shit
Yeah,
underground.
yeah. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's probably gonna be one of those situations. I'll be really shocked if it was like a completely different map or who knows? It could be a
Well, no,
different section
I
of the
think
map
I think it says the new adventures in the lands between. So
in the lands between. So the lands
yeah,
in
I'm
between,
assuming that's the
yeah.
same location,
So
just
yeah,
different,
so
maybe different new areas or something like
yeah,
that.
maybe different new areas. Maybe it's gonna remix the same map and maybe make it a little bit dark. Who knows what they're gonna do, right? But I think that it's if I'm a betting man, I don't think it comes out this year. I think it's next year.
Well, let's make that bet because
You think?
I think we see a trailer at one of these showcases.
I think that's possible.
I think we see that, and then we get that release date right then and there, and it's coming
The
out
release date for this year though. That's what I'm
for
saying.
this year. Yep,
Wow.
for later this
I
year,
might
like
take. You know,
November.
I need to win my $20 back. I need to win my
There we
$20
go.
back, low key.
There we go.
You
Cook
know
that
what,
up
J
right
man? I'll
there.
take that. I'll take that bet.
$20.
Let's do a virtual shake on that. I take that bet, bro.
Bet,
I take that bet.
bet.
I don't. Elden
Hold on,
Ring, yeah,
let me write this down.
get it written down in paper, bro. Elden Ring expansion won't release in 2023,
And we'll release in 2023. I got you.
and you say it
'Cause,
won't release in 2023. I think let's take
yeah,
that bet.
I
I'll
say
take
late.
that. Let's see, because for
'Cause
some reason I
that,
feel like this is gonna be big. I don't think there's gonna be no tiny expansion, so I think they're gonna take time with it. I think they're
but
gonna
they
take time.
could. I feel like this. What the fuck?
Or you think this was always in the pipeline, so as soon as they were done, they were cooking this up right
I
away, bro? It could
maybe.
be. Could be.
Maybe that might be that. I think that would make sense, especially since it might even be in the overdrive now, especially with all the sales and shit.
Yeah.
With the first game, 20 million, they like, oh yeah, we need to cook up some shit quick. Like
Yeah.
we need to get it out.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I'm gonna say next year. I'm gonna say next year it drops. I think that's enough time for an expansion.
For sure. All right.
You got it in writing. You got it in
Got
writing.
it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Let's see if I lose another $20. Yeah, I was last year I was on a hot streak for bets, bro. I was winning left and right. This might not be
This your
my
first
year,
one of
though.
this year?
Yeah, and I lost. No, yeah. Besides the Horizon shit, I lost the Horizon shit. So I'm already down bad right now. I'm already down. Taking food out of my child's mouth, J-Man.
Oh,
Holy.
no. Don't frame it like that. Trying to make me feel bad. Trying to make me feel bad. Because I won't.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna
Peanut butter and jelly for the rest of the week.
Yeah, what Jack Move lose the bet, he makes niggas feel bad that you took his money, bro. He make you feel bad, bro. I'm gonna start doing that too, bro.
He eating burnt bologna sandwiches and shit now when he lose a bet.
Yeah,
all this nuts, all this wild talk he be talking about. Don't let Jack fool you. He taking flights to Houston and shit, doing fusion dances
I see him balling,
drinks and shit. Like, come on, get out.
Saying gonna do more trips. That man balling, bro.
I saw a picture. They had 2 straws and 1 drink. I said, all right, y'all acting different out there in Houston. I see why James Harden want to come back.
Speaking about expansions, Forza Horizon 5 is getting an expansion. It's a rally expansion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely gonna be playing it. I love Forza.
That shit low key reminded me of Motorstorm, dog. I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
this is looking alright. I ain't going front.
Yeah, I need this. I'm
What
gonna be here day one.
What's the release date for it?
Ooh, I actually don't know. Let's see at the end of this trip. Maybe they tell us. Okay, March. Wow, that's soon. That's this month. The hell?
What is that? What is that?
March 29th.
Oh shit. Oh, it's the day after
Bro, there's so much games to play, bro.
Fucking
This is
Resident Evil.
Crazy. Yo, there's too much games to play, bro.
Too many. I'm juggling like 3 games plus multiplayer.
That's what I'm saying. As
shit.
soon as I'm done with this AOE challenge with Tony, I'm locking down. I'm being one at a time too. I'm focused. I'm razor sharp focused, one at a time. Boom. I'm gonna clean up the rest of Dead Space. I'm on like chapter 7 or 8 or some shit like that. I'll clean up that. I'm gonna clean up Fire Emblem. I'm just boom, one game only. That's all I'm doing, bro. Real
I
talk.
think this was while we on Xbox and new expansion stuff. I think this might have been announced last week. But what did you think about the Halo Season 3 trailer?
Ooh, yeah. Halo, yo. You know what? Halo. I hopped back on not too long ago. Played a couple of matches, and J-Man, bro, I was getting a whole bunch of new maps I haven't played before. I'm like, wait, hold up.
Wait, was it
what's going on?
the Forge maps or
some of them were Forge? I feel like some of them was like developers, like the developer Forge maps too. So like I'm like some of these maps are pretty clean. I'm like, hold up, Halo's kind of looking a little different to me right now, bro. In terms of like, it's looking a little new. So, what's going on over there? I think they're taking the right steps to at least get that game into the right direction. Who knows if they'll ever capture that day one concurrent players again, at least on PC. Who knows? It's a possibility. I feel like it's a possibility if they drop story content. Like, I think people would jump back on. If they drop the Fire Story expansion, I think people would definitely reinstall the game and try and play that shit again. But
nah, what I saw from that season 3 trailer, I ain't gonna lie.
That's bad, bro. It seems like it's the most content that they're dropping at one time, bro. That shit was not bad at all, bro.
And they added 2 maps or 2 or 3 maps from Forge from creators and shit. Like one of them was like a play one of like something called Arts Room, like somebody's bedroom. I thought that shit looked dope. And then they have it's like 2 or 3 Forge maps is coming to the season, as well as like 3 more maps. So maps is definitely won't be an issue with this season. Yeah. So definitely need that story.
I think we need to. I think I want to play more Halo. Honestly, every time I hop on, even though like it's always in bad press, but every time I hop on and play, I actually do have a good time. You know what I mean? Like the game is a fun game to play. So, I don't know, man. I think they just need when it comes to Halo, I think they just need to like kind of do a soft like relaunch, story expansion paired with like a new season and kind of relaunch it. Shit, fuck around, make a new box art, do something. You know what I mean? Like just relaunch the fucking game. And I think they might have a chance to gain some of its player base that it did lose after people fell off from it having no content. All right, we're gonna be wrapping up soon. We got 2 more topics we're gonna talk about before we get out of here. Nintendo confirmed that they will not be attending E3, and to my surprise, I'm not surprised. This does not mean that in the June area, the summer area, that they will not be having their direct. I think they're just not going to E3. So
Yeah.
yeah. So guys, it doesn't mean that they're not having a direct in the summer. I think that direct in the
Has
summer is still happening.
has Xbox confirmed that they'll be at E3 this year?
I think they confirmed that they're not going to be at E3. They're going to be like somewhere else. They're going to be doing their own thing in the same time frame. I'm pretty sure they said they're
Oh,
not going. You
also
double
all three.
checking it?
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up right now because I'm just saying like the way the Phil Spencer the language he was using today because he was talking about like a June showcase, but he didn't say E3. He was like, we're prepping for June or we're prepping for a June show. Like, why not just say E3 if you're gonna be there? So if they
I
already
don't think
said it,
so.
I might have missed it. But if not, then I don't think they're gonna be there either. So
Yeah, I don't
we
think
know
they're going to be
Sony
there.
not gonna be there. Like they ain't been there in a few years. So I mean that if it ain't, I mean if E3 wasn't dead before, like it's dead now. And Nintendo was the one that was, Microsoft too, but Nintendo was like still showing up, even though they were one of the first to start that, whole and Nintendo Direct doing your own thing on the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
So they've been seeing that, they can garner enough attention just on their own.
On their own, yeah.
But
They've been
so the fact
very
that they
successful with their
like,
directs, bro. They don't need to do that shit. They
yeah,
just
like they
direct to
pulling out, it's
consumer,
like,
bro.
ooh,
Direct to consumer right there, bro. That's all you do. Talk to your fans. And
hmm
it's honestly not a terrible idea. I think honestly it's the best way to communicate with your
yep,
fans. Just like that. The way they do the direct, the way that PlayStation has followed suit and did the state of plays. I think these are
yep,
great ways to communicate with your fans, as well as what Microsoft is attempting to do with these developer directs. I just hope they stick with it because with them they start something and they kind of drop it, right? Like they did the whole Inside Xbox dropped it because people wasn't feeling it. But now with the developer direct, it's kind of direct. We're getting more details straight out of the developers' mouths and stuff like that. We're seeing gameplay of these. I think this is like the best way to do it. So they need to just stick with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like stick with that shit, bro.
right,
I think that's a great idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we clearly need that showcase from PlayStation still. We need that.
Hey man, the rumor says it's coming, right? That's what y'all be telling me.
Yeah.
The rumor says it's coming. All right, and to end off the pod today with honestly one of the most incredible games I've seen in a while, one of the most exciting games I've seen in a while. Final
See if
Fantasy
Thieves got new
16.
content. Oh,
Final Fantasy 16, J-Main.
woo!
Final
My
Fantasy
God,
16.
game of the year 2023 right now. I'm
The
calling it.
game looks
Calling
absolutely
it.
incredible. Absolutely incredible. I was watching all the footage that was out and trying to dissect the gameplay. This is really like an action game. They really designed this shit like an action game though, for real.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Your
could
boy
really
from
see.
DMC came over and
I
he
really
turned it
see
up.
the Devil May Cry. I definitely see how they got one of the combat designers in there, and it's very apparent. The way the game looks like how you switch between your different kind of like your fire, your wind,
Oh
I think
yeah,
stone.
the icon powers and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that. Yep.
yeah. I seen what you change that with the left trigger. Like it just seems so fluid and dope, bro. Like
And you can combo them shits together too. Like you can
yeah, I see
start
doing it on the
with one
fly.
element, yeah, and
An
then like
element,
mid
changing the
combo switch
elements,
to the other, and it'll complete the
bro.
combo. Yo, fire!
Bro,
Like, come on.
it's so fluid. It's beautiful to watch. I'm really liking how they took it back into kind of like the medieval shit with the Final Fantasy shit too. So this shit is kind of
hmm
fly to me too. I ain't gonna hold you. Everything about this game looks fantastic in terms of even just the visuals and the way the game plays. It looks like it's
Yep.
really, really addicting, bro. So, Jamie, you really excited for this, and you're not really big on
What?
Final Fantasy like that, anyway. So this one definitely caught your
No.
eye too, right?
Right. Yeah, because you know me, I like, action RPGs overall. But so like it should be no surprise to anyone that like Final Fantasy, well, 13 was pretty much like my first Final Fantasy. And then like I liked 15 because of the action, the action style. And then 16, of course, would look amazing to me based on that. But yeah, I watched all 40 minutes of gameplay that they put out. I watched a few previews and I love everything about this game that I'm hearing. Like the fact that it's not an open world game actually gets me excited because it's like they're doing. I would probably put it in the category of like a God of War or like The Last of Us, where it'll have its linear sections, but then you'll have areas where they're big and
Yeah,
large.
open.
Yeah, that creates like those moments for exploration
Everything
and
doesn't
stuff
need to
like
be
that.
fucking open world, bro.
It doesn't.
Everything-
It
doesn't
really
need to be,
doesn't.
bro.
And that gives me so much hope for like a more confined story and everything. Like I was watching a couple of the cutscenes that they had, and I made a joke on Twitter like, "Oh, 11 hours of cutscenes is Kojima making this." But
Oh yeah, we got
JRPGs
some. We
typically
got some
have,
details.
yeah, they typically have
Yeah, let me pull
long
those
cutscenes
up.
and shit. But the cutscenes that I saw, like they looked incredible. Like the voice acting I thought was pretty good. And like just the cinematics going on in the cutscenes and the main character, I think his name is Clive.
Yeah,
Like,
Clive.
I'm 100% on board with this dude. Like I love his attitude, I love his style. Like he don't take shit from nobody, and like he's out to get revenge and stuff like that. So it might be your typical revenge story, but I think like the characters in themselves are gonna make this more than what it is. Combat wise, we saw fucking battles between the icons, like fucking. It looked like Naruto when the kaijus be like
Yeah,
fighting against
the
each other.
summons, right? The summons.
Like yeah,
That.
like
Oh my
dog,
god.
come on, dog. Like it transitioned from like a battle between someone who was a what do they call it? Damn, somebody that like the host for the icon power, and then like eventually she like I don't know if she summoned it or it released from her body. So now you're fighting against the actual icon itself. It's like dog, like these huge big battles, and then you got just it's just everything,
It looks
everything.
incredible. It looks incredible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Once again, I've been on record saying that like, yo, bro, like I'm a like, yeah, I wish they would do like a big blockbuster turn-based Final Fantasy, almost like they did like with Dragon Quest 11 and stuff like that. But I ain't gonna
right.
hold you, bro. I'm looking at this gameplay and this shit looks so fantastic. I can't even complain. Hey, man,
You can't
I'm all
deny
in
it.
on action. I'm all in on this action RPG too, bro. You know, what I mean,
You
I'm gonna enjoy
can't
this game
deny
and.
it.
You already know me, yo. I've always stood in the stance as like, to me personally, I kind of gravitate towards Japanese developers over like Western
The
developers. So like,
Western
yeah,
for
this is
RPGs,
yeah,
definitely I do.
not even for that. I just for like action games and stuff like anything like action. I love. I think
Now,
I prefer Japanese over Western games when it comes to
I don't
RPGs,
know about
action
that.
games.
Action games, really?
Hey, chat man.
So
I think Japanese are still cooking, man. So they cooking the
for
Western
for the
developers, low
action
key. I still think
games,
so, bro.
I don't think they stories hit the same as they do for the Western games in terms of the action
You know
games.
what? It'd be a little bit more, quote unquote, weeby or anything.
RPGs, yeah, like
But
their stories in
they be
RPGs, I
hit
think are
though.
better.
Yeah,
They good, don't get me wrong, but I think I would prefer the Western action games and then the Japanese RPGs.
yeah.
But nah, I feel you. But like
Out of the games that
the
you play, that's actually just an interesting side conversation though. But out of all the games you play, do you find yourself typically playing more Westernized games or like Japanese games? I find
definitely
myself
Western.
loving more Japanese games than Western though. You know what I
Definitely
mean?
Western. Let me think. Because I didn't start to get into JRPGs until like
It's not even only
Persona
RPG. They don't
and
only make JRPGs,
no,
man.
I know, but like I'm trying to think like so Devil May Cry, you got, of course, I played
Resident
those, love
Evil
those.
games,
Oh
bro.
yeah, Resident Evil. I be forgetting.
These are all
You might have to
Japanese
remind me.
developers, bro. These are all Japanese
Yeah,
developers, bro.
you're right.
It's
You're
not only
right.
that, bro. The Death
Kingdom
Strandings,
Hearts
the
and shit.
thing, the Kingdom
That's
Hearts, that's all
Japanese.
Japanese, bro. They
Yeah,
make more than just
it might it might
RPGs,
it
bro.
might be a mix. It might be a mix. It might be a mix.
Yeah, I
But
prefer. I think I've always gravitated towards Japanese games, and I just like the style. Maybe because I'm an anime. I like animes and stuff too. Like I'd be on anime
mhm.
heavy with like certain animes and shit. I'm not super weeby, but you know what I mean. But I think that's why I like their style of games because there's just so much flair, bro. Like they make shit just look crazy. Like I don't know, man. They make shit just look so out of this world, bro. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're really good at that.
And they
That's
ain't
why
afraid
you know
to
what's a
make
perfect
women look like
example?
women.
You know, yeah. You know what's a perfect example?
What's that?
Go watch. Go. Oh well, you already played it, but go like just revisit Ghost of Tsushima. Then go
hmm
look at Rise of Ronin. Just look at it's two games that have similar concepts in terms of like we're making this kind of open world samurai game, right?
Right.
And you just look at the style of how a Japanese developer develops something like that versus someone like Sucker Punch. And just look at
Mm.
the stylistic choices and the differences.
Right.
The Japanese
That's
games
like
just
I'm
have so
a
much extra flair, bro. They just look iller, bro. They just look so much. I don't know how to describe it exactly, bro. Like they just have more.
yeah.
There's just more style in them games, yo.
I
Way
see.
more style, bro.
I see what you're saying. I
And the
see what
fighting
you're
games
saying.
too, like the Tekkens, the Street
Oh yeah,
Fighters. These are
Fight
all
Street Fight.
Japanese,
Yeah,
bro.
all of that.
I'm
All
telling you, man.
Japanese.
Japanese developers are still. I still think they're the best on the game, bro. let alone the Nintendo developers like the Fire Emblems and the other stuff too, bro. That's
Yeah.
Dark Souls game. Someone said in the chat, you're right. Dragon Ball Fighters. I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I might be I'm team Japanese, bro, when it comes to the developers, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. But let's talk about some more details when it comes to Final Fantasy 16. 30 frames per second and 60 FPS modes are confirmed in the game, so that's good.
Good.
We're continuing
Excellent.
this trend of having game modes in games has been excellent with this generation. I love it. The main story is going to be about 35 hours, right? But apparently it could take up to 80 hours to complete complete the entire game, which I think that's a good length.
Yeah.
80
That's
hours,
a perfect.
That's
That's
a good length
perfect.
for everything.
Yep.
Like Jay May
So
said, there's 11 plus hours of cinematics. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say I could see myself like, and rolling credits around like 50 hours after doing the main story and some of the side content and cleaning it up later or some shit like that.
Nev in the chat says they're different. They're completely different games. But I swear I've watched the trailer. Let me pull up Rise of Rome. I swear it's an open world.
Nah.
It's not an open world game. It's not linear.
Rise of Ronin is
open
definitely
world, bro.
It's definitely comparisons to.
I think
that
you can make a
comparison.
I think that's a fair comparison.
I think when I first saw that, I think when I first saw that game, I thought that was like Ghost of Tsushima too. Like I think there's some comparisons there. I mean, like weapon wise, yeah, there's some differences. Like I think they do have.
I swear
like,
this
gun
game
or
is
some
an
shit
open
like
world
that.
thing, but when you just look at it, like what I'm trying to just describe is just stylistically, it just looks. It just has that Japanese style to it. You could tell when it's made by Japanese developers. Just look at the gameplay. Even when the swords just collide, it's just different, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. You could compare.
Yeah, I think you could compare these two. I think that's fair. Let me see what Nev is saying. Rise of Ronin is far from more. What you saying?
Fantastical.
Fantastical. Then it's like, what do you mean, like fantasy? Like, is he trying to say like
more high fantasy?
More fan. Okay, I can see where Ghost tries to go for a little bit more of a realistic approach, I guess. But I think that's like my point, though. I think that's kind of like my point too, though. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, typically the Japanese games have like you doing these freaking the most craziest shit in them. You know what I'm saying? Like you be doing like all this wild stuff.
Yo, Blade X is stupid. He said, "What modes does FF16 have on Xbox?" Shit, man. But speaking of that exclusivity shit, they what's his name, Yoshida or Yoshi P.
Yoshi P. Yeah.
He came out and pretty much said like, "Yo, PlayStation has the 6-month exclusivity deal where it can't come out on nothing other than PS5." But it does not mean that the PS5 version is coming 6 months directly after that.
Yep.
As they want to make sure that they, properly develop for that, and they, spending their time on the PlayStation version right now. So
I saw the PlayStation man's getting a little happy about this. Why y'all happy? Why y'all so happy? Why y'all so happy, bro? Like, why y'all happy? Like, yo, let's rock these.
Buy the PS5 if you want to play it.
These guys are so sad that their whole these guys are so sad that their whole exclusive narrative just withered away. Now they're so happy about timed exclusive. Remember when Xbox used to get roasted for having timed exclusive? Now that's the hotness out here, bro. Not having the
times have changed.
Now, yo, that's how far we are into this shit now, yo. Now, mans are bigging up timed exclusives now. Back in the day, PlayStation mans used to roast J-Man. We've been here long enough to know this. PlayStation mans used to roast Xbox mans and just timed exclusives and we'll be playing that later. Now they're out here big enough celebrating that. Oh, we don't gotta wait. Bro, even don't sit down, bro. Y'all don't sit down, bro. They even don't even get me started, bro. And look, listen, I'm okay with this. I'm never bitter about this because I'll play it on PlayStation happily. But at the same time, when it drop on PC, I'm gonna support it as well. I'm just hoping that what he's saying is true because he says that we have a 6-month exclusivity deal with PlayStation, but the game won't be ready to launch on PC 6 months later. So they're saying that they want to take their time and optimize the game properly on PC, so it's a great experience over there too. So if that's the case, I'm perfectly fine with them doing that. For me, since it's a game that I can't wait for, I'm gonna buy it on PlayStation. And guess what? When if I love it that much, I love replaying my games. The definitive edition is gonna come out on PC with the beautiful ultra wide support. You know what I mean? DLSS, high frame rates, better quality textures. You see what happened with Returnal? You see what happened with Returnal? The
don't do that shit with
Last
of Us.
The secure version gonna come out, and guess what? I'm right back in the game. If I enjoyed it that much, I'm definitely gonna be replaying it again. That's what I do, bro. I like playing games
For sure.
I like replaying games and revisiting games. So I'm definitely gonna be on that. So, yeah, man. Final Fantasy 16.
And
It looks
a lot of
incredible, bro.
people were saying that, like when I had posted about this exclusivity stuff, a lot of people was in my comments talking about how like Square Enix games are typically bad on PC. Like the initially, like the ports are
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
best.
They don't have the greatest PC ports. That is true. We can go back and look at history. We could look at Near Automata. A
Mm,
lot of their games typically will not support ultra wide support. Final Fantasy VII Remake wasn't the greatest PC port, but since the developer, the head developer here, is behind Final Fantasy 14, J Main, I have a
yeah,
little bit of hope because Final Fantasy 14 MMO super huge on PC, and
it is.
I think the guy I think he understands PC gamers. I will say this though. Final Fantasy 15, the ones that was created by Luminous, which no longer exists. Hey, I don't remember that being a bad PC port. Maybe someone could correct me if I'm wrong. I remember playing that day one on PC, and I think that shit was kind of fire, bro. I thought that shit was lit. I don't remember that being a horrible PC port.
Well, now that they back merged with Square Enix, they could, you know what I mean? They
Hey,
could
maybe they could help work
assist with
on it.
that PC shit.
Maybe they could
That's
help work
probably
on it.
exactly what they putting them on right now. Like y'all done fucked up. Go ahead and make sure this PC port for 16 is good money.
Yeah. So,
Damn.
is there any other
But
details about Final Fantasy 16 that we need to talk about before getting out of here?
not much. I think we kind of hit pretty much everything. They have, the combat is looking excellent. The big icon is, I believe, what they call. People know them as
Icons,
summons,
yeah.
but you
Summons,
can
icons.
control them and fight them in battle. Story wise is looking pretty decent, and yeah, I'm excited for it. So I think June 22nd it comes out, so 3 months.
Near my birthday, bro. That's lit. June 25th
Yeah,
is my birthday. I need that, bro.
shit'll be here before you know it. So get ready.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting to say real quick before we get out of here? I'm just trying to think. Nah, that might be it, J-Main. That might be it. I can't think of anything
That's
else.
it. All
Oh, real
right.
quick, Last of Us.
What, the TV show?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
okay.
real quick,
Uh,
just real quick.
yeah.
The latest
Did you watch the
episode.
regular episode?
I didn't watch the latest episode. I'm pretty sure they were saying that it's Left Behind, right? It's like a whole
Yeah, the
episode of
Left
Left Behind.
Behind DLC.
I watched the
Yep.
one before that. The one before that was which one was that one
Jackson.
again?
When
Jackson,
they
the
got to
one with
Jackson. With
homeboy
Joe
Henry.
whimpering. No.
Oh wait.
The last one was
Oh,
when
that's
he
when they
met.
got impaled. He got impaled. Or
Yeah.
he got stabbed. They switched
He
it
got
up.
impaled. Yeah.
They switched it up. They switched it
Oh,
up.
shit. They moving so fast,
They
man.
moving so fast,
I
bro.
can't fucking stand it, man. I
Yeah, they
hate
moving
that
so
shit.
fast, bro.
Everything is moving so fast. The world is lacking infected. Like the world that they're traversing don't look dangerous at all. That shit just look like
That was my
it look like
main.
they chilling, dog. Like what
How
the
many
fuck
times
is
have I
going on?
said
They on
this?
vacation?
That's what look,
Dog.
once again, I said this like about a million times, bro. I said the journey in the TV show doesn't look as rigorous as the video game that they travel. It
It
doesn't feel
don't.
as rigorous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the point where you got to winter or like where it snowed, you felt like, yo, these guys been through some shit, yo. In the TV show, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like moving around is actually not that bad, yo. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
It's not. It's so not that bad that they find the spots to sleep. Look up at the stars, talk about the moon. Like, yo, this shit ain't
Yeah.
dangerous at all.
Yeah, they don't seem as
So
dangerous as the
But
game. The game was mad scary, bro. Way
yeah,
more.
the Left Behind episode I actually thought was a good episode. Like I thought it was actually great. Like I thought it was a good representation of what we got in the game. I thought the performances from the actors were great. And I feel like we, experienced it like it was in the DLC itself. So while it's, the DLC or a prequel type of episode, I thought it was good nonetheless. And that just ultimately leaves 2 more episodes for David and the hospital, which I'm preparing for the worst because I don't understand how you do David in one episode.
They're gonna turbo
I don't
speed. It's just turbo speed, bro. It is what it is.
terrible.
It is
Yeah.
what it is.
How do you do Joel interrogating those people, Ellie meeting up with David, learning about what they do, fucking Joel hunting them down, like
What's
her
the time? Do you
fighting
have the
David.
time? Do you have the time for them episodes?
I saw somewhere that the David episode was like an hour, and then the final
Oh,
episode was like 49 minutes or
oh,
some shit like
Jesus
that.
Christ.
So
Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy. It is what it
definitely
is.
disappointed.
Hey man, I'm gonna just throw out some good shows I think you should be watching right now on HBO. Watch Your Honor, bro. Your Honor is
I heard Your
absolutely
Honor was good.
It's absolutely fantastic. Watch that show. Watch BMF. That's another great show.
That last
Hey,
BMF episode had me crying. No, I ain't go front.
yeah,
When he brought the dog into the church, dog, that
yeah,
fake ass
yeah,
dog.
yeah.
That scene was not needed, dog.
Yeah. No, I didn't really understand that either. But BMF is fire. What else?
It
Bel
is.
Air. Watch Bel Air too. Hey,
Oh, I
yo.
got a season 2
Bel
for Bel
Air
Air.
is
I gotta
good,
check that
bro.
out. I
Bel
like
Air
Bel
is.
Air.
I love how they remixed the show. I thought that show was gonna be a flop. Initially, I'm like, but I don't know. Jack saying Snowfall in the chat. You know what? I haven't watched Snowfall at all
Snowfall is
before.
back.
I haven't watched one season of Snowfall before. I'm hearing it's fantastic. I heard it's like they're on their last season, right?
Yeah, this is the last season of
All right,
Snowfall.
so it's perfect. It's perfect time for me to jump in and
To
watch
binge
it
that
straight
shit?
through. Yeah, binge it all the way straight through. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna check that shit out. Shout out to everyone who came through and watched the podcast live. I appreciate it. Me and
Did
J-Main
you-
appreciate it? Go ahead.
Real quick, did you go see Ant-Man Quantumania? Did you go see
No,
that yet?
I went to go watch
Oh,
Cocaine
okay.
Bear though.
Nigga, what? You went to go see that over Ant-Man?
I'm kind of over the Marvel shit right now, bro. Until something really like they bring X-Men or Fantastic Four, I'm probably not gonna watch it. But
you wanna
hey,
go
J-Man,
see
you saying I
Cocaine
want to go?
Bear.
You're saying that, but Cocaine Bear was a fun flick. It's definitely a
doubt
fun
it.
flick. It was a fun flick. It was fun. It was
I
fun.
doubt it.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Look, listen. If you want something a little bit different to watch, if you want to watch a movie that don't take yourself super serious, but Cocaine Bear was actually hilarious. I enjoyed that movie, and a lot of actors from Your Honor is in there, which I always like seeing shit like that too. So it was dope. It was dope.
Shit, Ant-Man don't take it so serious neither when you see how Kane got clean. Never mind.
Oh my god, bro. You see,
Never mind.
Jack, it's a decent
Ooh,
movie,
no.
bro. It's entertaining. See, Jack says it's entertaining too, bro. It's a decent. It's not. Look, we're not watching Titanic here, sir, bro. It's not gonna leave you crying at the end, but it's a fun movie. Like you watch the trailer, you know what you're expecting.
I heard they trying to make a cinematic universe out of them animals on drugs.
Is that actually true? Is that actually true?
See the like
crazy.
Adderall alligator or some shit like that.
Oh my
like,
god, Cocaine Bear was fun. It was a fun movie to watch. Once again, chat. Appreciate y'all tuning in and watching the podcast live. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Let's get the pod to as much likes as possible. And yeah, we're gonna wrap it up and get the hell out of here, man. It's been a good show, good conversation as always. J-Main.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure, of course, y'all check our channels out. I'm probably gonna do a live stream this weekend. I want to play some Battlefield Season 4. I'm supposed to be linking up. Yeah, I'm supposed to be linking up with a few people. So if you're in the community, you play Battlefield. I'm on every platform. I think it's crossplay anyway. So whatever platform you're on, let's link up. Play some Season 4. And come see your boy, do his thing. I'm chasing that 2.0 KD. I'm almost there too. I done work my way up from a 1.5. I'm like a 1.8 something. So
what are you doing? Hiding behind a bush, just shooting people?
Nah, nigga.
Millions of people just watching by, just hiding
I
behind
knew
a bush.
somebody was going to say that, but my kills per match has actually increased during my hunt for a 2.0. So talk that shit. Yeah, we in there. Hit that like button.
I'm gonna install that shit myself, bro. Because the way y'all talking about it, you've been preaching that it's good now, so I need to give it a try.
You can play the medic. We're gonna need somebody to heal us, so you can play the medic. All right.
I'm in the front lines. Yeah, I'm in the front lines, bro.
No. You gonna play support. We need you as support. All right. Let the gunmen do what the gunmen do. All right.
That's like Jack move position. I heard that's what he be doing in the last one. He ain't getting
the
no
Last of
kills,
Us.
but he just be healing.
Know your place. I like a motherfucker that know his place on the battlefield.
Shout out
right?
to Jack.
Understand your place.
No. I'm pulling up on the front lines. I'm there for the smoke. I'm actually about to buy that shit. They must have it cheap on PC somewhere, bro. I might just buy that shit. Be done with it.
I know it's on EA Play. I don't know if you could, get a membership real quick.
I'm gonna see if I
download
check
it
on
there.
CD keys or something. I get a key for it cheap. But yo, we out of here, yo. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week. Take it easy, people.
Absolutely.